start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York.
Because we're Delta Airlines, and life is a fucking nightmare.
Wig. Fruity wig. This bit's gonna annoy me. And look at it, we still got half of the It's lit.
So we just watched the prom, and this one is completely inebriated. She's had 3 drinks and she's very small, and
Americans don't know how to use a thing called a fucking measure.
they don't. So her 3 drinks are really the equivalent of like 7 drinks.
Make me fun.
Are you okay, hon?
I thought it was like 4. So I went to get in the front. And I went in to get in the English side. We're not in English.
Don't know what's happening.
Oh no, I'm triggered. NBC, keep it. Fucking keep it. There's gonna be too many fucking BTS stars. I don't want it, burn it.
The next day.
Look, we're both vlogging! Hey! Vlogception. We do. Yeah. Alright. Let's terrify ourselves. Where's Jay gone? Oh my gosh! This is where Kate McKinnon goes to work, you guys. Live from New York, it's Saturday night! Oh my god, look at 80! Oh my god, Tina and Amy. Stop. Oh my honey, look at her.
One of the inside editor.
Oh my god! Look, it's Gilda. Oh, and Kristen. Oh my god, we're actually like here. That's insane to me.
Do me a favor, up the stairs. That way, make a right to the red carpet. Up.
Oh my gosh.
Tower, Minnesota. Tower.
It's so fast.
That was yours once.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've done I've drank inside the drink and this is cooler than the other.
This is like a space system.
I don't know how far that is.
Paris, London, LA,
New York City. I want it all.
We need like a cat in a chair.
Yeah.
Snapchat needs this.
New York City! I'm low-key getting a little bit like terrified of being up here, not gonna lie. Just the tiniest bit. Oh, it's so cold. Dung, 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 dung. To know. Well, the girls in town. Keep it tight as usual, and you can't go wrong. You'll see none other countries but all the dog. We're even higher on top of the rock, and I had to buy sunglasses because this shit is ridiculous.
Fuck it out.
Live from New York, it's Wednesday at midday.
It's Wednesday afternoon. Oh my god, it's the least anticlimactic thing I've ever had.
Wednesday at midday live. We stand a photo shoot. Look, there's even a photo shoot happening of the photo shoot.
Well, someone needs to fight the camera.
How are you just so photogenic? It's like actually upsetting to me.
I didn't realize you had
So we've just arrived We've been here like over an hour. We're at the standby line.
Don't discount the whole hour we've been here. We've done an hour. Don't take that from us. Don't take it from us.
We're at the standby line. We've been here for just an hour.
Sorry.
And we've got our stuff already. We're all snuggled. I'd like to say that these pizza Pringles are not mine. I really want to make that clear in case my Italian father ever watches this. Pizza Pringles, not mine. They're hers. Blame her. But we're here. We got it all set up. I'd say we're like around 60, 70 in the line, so it should be okay. Gee.
I'm the Fiji.
Oh my god.
The Fiji lady.
That's like fancy, isn't it?
Yeah, but like it's so much cheaper in America.
Right.
It's like $3, whereas like in the UK that would be like $8.
Why is water $3?
It's Fiji.
That's
Because it's natural not Boslo, is it? Artesian water from the islands of Fiji. Boss, bitch. I translated Fiji in the other way. Who looks like Kate. And it makes me freak out.
Where is she?
She's got a massive backpack on. She's just Kate. On the other side though, when her hair was covering her face.
What is a stock thing?
She does kind of look like
Like
Kate.
when she turned the other way, you just see blonde hair across her face.
No, she does. She does kind of. I can see it.
It's the way she moves.
She's just peeking out from behind the tree.
It's the way she walks.
No,
She's got
come
a
look this
massive-
way. This way. Oh my god.
It's the way she walks. She's got a
Do you see her?
massive
She's right there.
backpack on.
Right there.
Yeah,
The only thing that threw me was, and she's got the same coat as Kate sometimes has. Like,
And she's got the hair as well.
Yeah,
So it's about 8:15 and the cold has hit. It is so effing cold. This is what the setup is. Liz is at Mean Girls, which like, she's heckin' brave. It's really heckin' cold. It's, oh, I'm gonna go closer. It's very cold, and I don't trust any bitch in this queue.
It's May, we don't play with them April Fools.
And it's also very bright here, in case you couldn't tell. Everything is super heckin' bright. So, what? This is true, but it's also bright and loud. The city that never fucking sleeps. I mean, it is only 8:15, so like, it's not bedtime yet, but it's Jay's bedtime. Jay has my blanket. Don't quite know how that happened. You know, it's like she's the one who paid $70 for it. But okay, what happened?
The tea is that I went to Starbucks to get myself a hot chocolate because we love warmth. And this flask, fill it with hot water, nice and warm, feels like a hot water bottle. So I ordered and I was like, hi, can I get a large hot chocolate? Can I also get like this just filled with boiling water? He was like, yeah, sure. And I guess they've got to put it through on the till, I don't know. And they put through like grande cup of water. And I literally got given a grande cup of ice cold water that I don't need, but I felt too awkward just leaving it, so I just took it. Can I just say, another reason I went to Starbucks was to go pee. I saw that the doors are like, you have to type in a code, like you've obviously got to ask for a code. Nah. So I didn't even pee. I got an extra cup of water
Yeah, you've got
and
more
no
liquid
pee.
than you need. You've got double the liquid you need.
Exactly. So that's the tea, and I might
my
just go
God.
and fucking whatever this shit is.
30 Rock, huh?
Yeah.
30 Rock.
I'm just so
30 Rockefeller Centers. It's like one of the most famous buildings in New York. I know, huh? You're doing
I
great,
don't
sweetie.
need this water.
I know.
I just need to pee.
I know.
Should I empty it out and pee in there?
Jay, what are you packing? I've come to use the bathroom of a Starbucks, and it is the safest I've felt in about 24 hours.
I'm gonna meet you in the ladies' room.
Hey Jay, how's your new setup going?
Great. Y'all are gonna be the ones complaining. I'm really comfortable and I'm living my
It's a
best life.
fucking bubble!
Jay's head.
Get out my bubble.
Jay's head is
Jay's head is in Lorne Michael's office.
Is it? Am I sitting on it? I'm sitting on it. Get your fucking blanket. She thick.
Your blanket is in like Washington Heights.
Oh. Oh my god, this is so much more beautiful.
You look so happy. Whatever, we got gay Lilas, so we're good.
It was like an old gay cat was dying.
Welcome to hell. Now we're all in here. Look around, isn't it nice? It's a full nightmare.
We're at Georgetown Cupcakes, and it has been a hot second since I've been here, and I got a little emotional when I walked in, I'm not gonna lie. Just arrived. We have our tickets. I'm low-key on the verge of a panic attack. It's all good. I'm so stressed out.
She is the lady who was like,
oh, I love her. Anyway, let's hope we get in because it's still not guaranteed up till this point.
please let me in.
It's a very, very good very, very good chance. We just want to see Kale. Okay. So you're catching me. You're catching me post dress rehearsal performance. Guys, we're not down here. It's down there. It's down there. We're going to get burgers. Yeah, you're catching me post dress rehearsal for SNL, Saturday Night Liberals, and
oh, how many live from New York at Saturday night is Kate on now?
no idea, but she's getting there.
She's joint third. So she might go again. Yeah, so she could be higher now.
There's a lot. I feel like I'll do a whole recap later, but
From sketch said gay, right? Jeez.
ow. Yeah, I'm emo. Alright, we're at the Yankee Stadium where we're about to go in to go and watch a baseball game. I don't know.
Let's go Yankees, let's go. Let's go Yankees. But, oh, I'm in two. Hello. Oh.
I'm not a big fan of sports, I have to admit, but like,
This is my jacket.
go for it.
Right. We're not in the blue. Okay, right now. $140. Right in front of my salad.
Hey, bada bada, hey, bada bada, hey, bada bada, hey, bada bada, swing. I got to just do one thing. So I'm gonna be honest and just say that I was really bad at doing the whole vlogging thing after SNL. I was really tired and really overwhelmed, and the rest of the trip went completely undocumented. I have some photos which I might put at the end of this video. I also might not. I haven't really looked at them. I got back home at about 9 o'clock this morning, and it is now 7 o'clock. And I slept for a few hours, and the jet lag should be interesting. But yeah, God, what a trip. So just for a little lowdown of like what happened with SNL, we got the tickets. We were 46 to 49, and our friend Chris was 50. Shout out to Chris if you're watching this. Hey, our friend Chris was 50. I think our friends Jill, Amanda, and Aubrey were like in the mid-20s. I might be wrong. But they kind of were a little bit safer than we were when it came to sort of getting into the show. You know, we got to the NBC store, started lining up. They started taking people up, and at first, to go through security, I got separated from everyone else because I was 46 and everyone else was behind me, so that was terrifying. But luckily we got reunited. We were then waiting to go into the elevators, and if you know SNL, if you get into the elevators, you're pretty much in. Like, obviously you never want to say that you're in until your butt's literally in a seat, but like, if you're in the elevators, you're in. They give you a wristband, you're good. We were waiting to go to the elevators, and first of all, NBC didn't do anything about the cutting, which was so frustrating, because I swear that like 10 of the people from the front of the line had not been there since from the time that everyone else had gotten there. But there were 2 people in front of me, and then there were the 4 of us, and then there was Chris, and then there were like 100 odd people behind us. And they suddenly said, okay, we need 2 people. So the 2 girls in front of me went, and I was like, oh no. Oh no, 2 people. Because if it's like they needed 10 people, then you kind of expect them to go down in numbers with how many people they need. And I was like, oh my god. And so there's a security guard there, and I was like, be honest with me, how likely is it that we're gonna get in? And I was hoping he'd be like, yeah, like, just, it'll be fine. He literally looked at me and went, maybe. And I was like, and I'm there like on the verge of tears, because I'm like, we've been on the street for 3 days. If they hadn't let me in, I would have been like, go and kick someone out, because there are people who have been here since Friday night. Like, I arrived on Wednesday. Then someone comes out and they're like, okay, we need 4, and we're like, ah! And so the 4 of us get wristbands. I was stood next to Jay, and we had to put them on each other, and apologies Jay, I put it on you really badly because I was very nervous. I was kind of shaking, I was a bit of a mess. So I put the wristband on Jay, she puts it on me, and we get taken into the lift. And in all the confusion of getting into the studio, I don't know how it happens. Jay's behind me in the line, but I end up sitting with Neve, the small one, at the back of the studio on the comfy chairs, nice in the middle. We had a decent view. And Liz and Jay get separated, and they each get put in a corner, way up at the top of the seating. And we talked beforehand, whatever seat they give us, we're gonna take regardless of whether or not we're together. I was really glad to be sat next to Neve, because I, was happy to have someone to sort of have the experience with. I feel really badly that Liz and Jay didn't get that, but c'est la vie. We got into the studio either way. We got in just at the end of Keenan and some of the girls doing their warm-up, which I was kind of gutted to miss, but whatever. And then the cold open happened. First of all, well, before the cold open, Lorne Michaels was just like walking around the set, and I was like, hey Lorne, name a woman. Cold open happened, they started it, it was the prison one, it was just so great, and suddenly I saw a very small person with a very distinctive nose wearing a brown wig and a brown coat, and I was like, And I turned to Neve and I was like, Kate's right there. And I remember like we were gripping hands with each other and I was like wiping tears away. I'd already cried when we got into the studio because it was just so improbable that we were going to get into that studio. I was wiping tears away looking at this like beautiful woman I'm in love with. Because also, just as a note, because I didn't mention, Chris, our friend who was ticket 50, he did get let in. I don't know how many people were let in after him, but he did get in, which is really good because he has a very impressive SNL streak that it would have been a shame if this had broken it. But so we watched the cold open, we watched all the sketches, the monologue was great. I was really irritated that like Emma Stone was just completely overshadowed by BTS. That's not how it's supposed to be. You know, the host is meant to be the main event and then the musical guest is like the little extra thing. That's not how it was this time. It was completely pandering to the BTS fans, which like, I get it. It's also just a massive shame and it's, you know, it kind of sucks. There were lots of mentions of BTS during Weekend Update. Kate's Weekend Update character got cut for the live show. I was so upset. She was playing Katie Bowman. It was a really great great character that she was doing, and it was kind of the one that I was sure they wouldn't cut because it got laughs. You know, it didn't feel like a repeat of something else. I'm supposing they cut it just for logistical reasons and not really for anything else, but that was a shame that got cut. The View sketch was probably my favorite, followed very closely by Ladies Room. It was really cool. I got to see how they did the door for the royal family sketches. I was really excited to see that because I remember reading about it and it was really fascinating to me. The good nights, Kate went to hug Emma and they hugged and started grinding on each other, and it was just a lot. And you know, I got to actually see Kate do comedy, and the best parts were like seeing her when the camera wasn't on, just like getting in the zone or talking with her friends or like dancing to the music that the band was playing, and it was just like so wonderful to see. And I cried several times. There was one part during the View sketch where I think I was just very overwhelmed, and I was just very overwhelmed and very emotional, and it was when the lights changed, when Kate and AD's characters did a face-off, and I just started crying because I was laughing so hard. I just started crying. So yeah, that was a lot. We saw the show, we left the studio, I cried again. We went to buy our SNL jumpers. They're special because they say 44 on the shoulder, which is season 44. And even I said that we would buy it if we got into the show. We got into the show, so we bought it. Yeah, then we went to get burgers at this pub that was right next to the standby line, so that was quite nice. We sort of ended where we started. So we ate, and then we found Jill, Amanda, and Aubrey there, and they were watching the live episode. So we watched with them and sort of talked about what we thought would get cut and stuff, and it was just like, it was such a lovely moment. Like, it was kind of that thing of like, oh yeah, this is life, that's great, you know. Just like there with friends and some wonderful people who helped us out so much. You know, it was just such a great moment. It was such a great moment. And so we then went to the barricades. Y'all BTS stans, holy shite balls, honestly. They had to relocate all of the BTS stans across the road where they were heckin' screaming. Like, when I say screaming, I don't mean cheering, like screaming, which is really frustrating because the musical guest and the host never leave from that exit. They don't, NBC doesn't provide security for them, and so they do provide an alternative exit where they can use their own security to get out, but it's not safe for them to come out that exit because the security doesn't support them. We got talking to one of the 30 Rock security guards who who was the supervisor of one of the security guards who had been out the previous night, who actually, I had called him down. I had told the security guard to call his supervisor down because the security guard wasn't letting us put our tarp up. You know, he was saying it can't be clipped to the barricade, and I was like, that's fine, I just want to lean it over, I just want to hang it over. And he was saying, no, that's not okay. And I was like, get me a supervisor. I hate that I'm saying this because I am not like a white suburban mom, let me speak to your manager type. I'm really not. But it was 10 o'clock at night, it was pouring down with rain, I just wanted to put our tarp up so that we could be dry, and he was being so unreasonable, and it sort of got to the point where, the thing is, they need the tarps to not be attached to the barricades, so that if they need to pull the barricades away quickly, they can do that, which I get, like, that makes sense. All we wanted to do was hang the top of the tarp on the barricade, so it was just hanging there. So if you needed to pull it away, you could do it, easy peasy, you know. And he was being so unreasonable, so I was like, get me a supervisor, I'd like to hear it from him. And so he got his supervisor, and his supervisor was like, yeah, leaning against the barricades, I don't know why he's being an asshole. Also, I had a problem with the fact that the security guard was letting other people lean their tarps against the barricades, but it was just us who he had a problem with. Anyway, but I got talking to the supervisor at the barricades stage door area, and we were talking about the BTS fans across the road, and he was like, yeah, I have to keep an eye out, you know, I'm only here while BTS is in the building, you know, the minute BTS leaves, I can leave, so I'm just waiting for them to leave. And he sort of came over every now and then being like, so BTS is starting to leave, and we were like, noted. And at one point he looked at us and went, which I took to mean that BTS had left the building, and 3 blacked out cars drove past, and no one really paid attention to them. And he came afterwards and he was like, you know, there's 3 cars, and I was like, yeah. And he was like, that was BTS. And I was like, oh god, everyone there was a moron. Anyway, a bunch of cast members came out. Let me see, I met Ego, I met Alex, Beck, Kyle, Mike, Chris, Melissa, Leslie. I met Leslie too. Yeah.
Dark inside of me, you set my teeny tiny boobies free. Yeah, we never met and we never will, but I thank you still, 'cause I first got horny to you.
You know, I wasn't expecting to meet Kate or Cecily, because like they don't usually do barricades, and that was fine. Neve got to meet 80, but 80 was in a rush, so I didn't get to meet her, which is fine, there'll be other chances. But no, I was really happy with everyone who came out. Melissa was sort of strutting her stuff, and no, it was really lovely. Then went home, slept like a log, and yeah, the next day we went to a Yankees game. Weird ass experience. I bought this cup that also holds fried chicken. Photo to follow. It was just like a fun little experience, you know. The Yankee Stadium is insane, so it was really cool to see that. And then in the evening, Jay and I went to see Chicago. Aside from the audience being literally the worst people in the world, it was quite fun. Then the next day, Liz and Neve headed home. Before they did, me and Liz went to see the Ghostbusters exhibit at Madame Tussauds. So here are some photos and videos of that. Yes, 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 yes! Oh, I'm gonna cry. Look at how complete. I love you.
Wait, can you get a picture?
I love you so much. So much. I have that book. Oh my god. My mother, my wife, my daughter, my child, my sweet summer one. Oh, look at her. Oh,
I just got the files. Thanks very much.
I love you. Then Jay and I went to our new hotel where the lobby smelled like NBC Studios. NBC Studios, for those of you who don't know, has a very distinct smell. We went to our new hotel and it had the most incredible view of Times Square. I'm gonna meet you in the ladies' room. I'll be back real soon. I'm gonna meet you in the ladies' room. I don't know the rest of the song, but I'll learn. And we stayed there. We went to this really horrible comedy show. They just made like really awful jokes, so not a fan. And then the next day we flew home, and here I am. But yeah, Saturday was one of the best days of my life, and it started out being really horrible, and I was on the verge of a panic attack many times, but I wouldn't have changed it for anything. Massive thanks. I just really want to give thanks out to Jay for being the best girlfriend in the entire world and for not murdering me when I was losing my mind after standby. Jay and I actually had our first fight after standby, mostly just from all the stress, but she was super understanding as I cried to her on the subway about how tired I was. And big thanks to Neve and Liz just for being just awesome standby pals. Shout out to Jill and Amanda, who were just really amazing before standby and during standby, and just being like guiding lights. They really helped me out with they really helped us out with like hints and tips and instructions and things that we should know. And honestly, like, if y'all hadn't told me to get a tarp, I wouldn't have gotten a tarp, and we would have been significantly wetter on Friday night. So just little things like that, it just really helped. And thank you to Jill for just being available on text in the lead up to standby for me to just throw questions at, and thank you to Amanda for coming with me when the security guard was being terrible, and for calling him a royal dick. That was an exceptional moment in my life. Thanks to Aubrey. You were just so great and fun, and I really feel like I made a friend with you, and it was just so nice to like make friends in the line, and it's just really nice. Thanks to Arlene and Chris. Arlene and Chris are both big line veterans. Arlene has been doing it since '95, and I think Chris is on his 138th show now. So both of them really knew what they were doing. They both know security very well. They both made sure that we were looked after. Chris was very, very close to us in the line, so I always felt like he was nearby. And Arlene, before she lined up on Friday, she would come down the line every morning and every evening and say hi. Shout out to the security guard who let us put our tarp up. Shout out to DeVito the dog. Shout out to the NBC pages who were just really lovely. Every single page that I met that whole week, whether you were giving us the NBC tour or handing out standby tickets or handing out soup, because that happened too. You were all just so lovely, and that was wonderful. And just shout out to SNL. Like, gosh, what a life. So I guess that concludes my attempt at a vlog. I hope it was vaguely coherent. Anyway,